Hey guys, Justin here. I'm in Causeway Bay right now, Moreton Terrace. Just departed on a 952 service. Alright, on board 952 here, our first city bus route after I come back to Hong Kong. Thank you so much Oriole Rush for this request here. Now hopefully the headphone should be no problem because this is a brand new headphone, so it should not have any problems. Now I just tried out my phone stand and I tried to put it right here. But after I put it on there, it just shakes, like it just like rolled around. It doesn't work out, so that's why. Just gonna go back to a holding phone for the whole journey, which this route takes over 1 hour, around 130 minutes. So that's why it's gonna be a hell of a journey, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So it's from Causeway Bay, Moreton Terrace just inside, and is terminating at Chi Lok Fa Yuen, which is across to Tuen Mun. So again, I've said before, for Perth viewers, because this route has 3 numbers inside there, instead of route number, instead of route thing, there's 3 numbers, plus it starts with the number 952, so that's where this route crossed, was Resident Harbour Crossing, and it's a cross harbour route. This cost $21.80. $21.80 because it goes to Tuen Mun. Tuen Mun is like edge of Hong Kong on the right, on the left side. We still have 960p. Wow. Now it's already 11 o'clock. There's still 960p. That's a special route. Now originally this route is 962B, but after they have set up more routes in Tuen Mun with the 50s, so that's why they changed this route to 950s series, just to make it the same thing. So this route is going to take the highway at the back. Not going to take any paths inside the middle, so that's why after crossing the harbour it's going to be very smooth, but before we cross the harbour it's going to be pretty nightmare here. Because we need to go across from Causeway Bay all the way through to Wan Chai, Admiralty Central, and then go across in the western side. After crossing, the fare will switch down to 16 something, and then we'll take the highway all the way, take a little bit of Tuen Mun Road, and then we turn down to Shamm Tseng and take Castle Peak Road from there. Next stop, Canal Road East, Times Square. 下一站时代广，下一站接拿道东，时代广场。Now for Perth viewers, if you guys want to know more about the route, it's kind of hard for you guys to show the route. So that's why we better actually, if you guys search on Google Maps for the route map. or you guys download the bus apps here of Hong Kong. I think it should be available for the Australian App Store. But I think Google Map would be the best. If you just search Hong Kong and we got jump to Hong Kong real fast, and then we type 952 in the thing that you might be able to find. Or you go to Causeway Bay Moreton Terrace on the map and you click 952 from there, then you can know the map. Next stop, Kwang Sang Hong. I don't think it's Kwang Sang Hong actually. Okay, it's Kwang Sang Hong Building. 下一站广生行大厦. So passing through Hennessy Road, and then we're gonna take to Admiralty and then Central. So this route we'll be able to see the CBD of Hong Kong here. Now this is technically part of the CBD, but it's not the main part. Main part for business and financial are in Admiralty and Central. So that's what we will see very soon. More routes here. I'm not really familiar with the routes here because it's across the harbour in Hong Kong Island. I'm not familiar with these. Stop here. Now there is actually another route that goes to Tuen Mun, and it's the express route 962X from here. It doesn't take Castle Peak Road, it's take the whole Tuen Mun Road and then it hits Tuen Mun after taking whole Tuen Mun Road. Does not need to get down to the lower path. Now 962X is the better one, but I think it costs more because it's an express route, so that's why. But that route does pass through Chi Lok Fa Yuen if you're just going to Chi Lok Fa Yuen. And it's a little bit faster path, but it takes Tuen Mun Town Centre, then goes to Chi Lok Fa Yuen. We go straight to Chi Lok Fa Yuen from Castle Peak Road. Which Castle Peak Road is the slower path, but technically it won't be actually that much slower because down in Castle Peak Road in Shamm Tseng, traffic is not a big problem. Like, if you compare traffic in Shamm Tseng and traffic right here, you can't compare. It's like two different things. Because later we're going to see a little bit of the rural side of Hong Kong. Not the most rural side. The most rural side technically is, you can see it on the East Rail Line. In Fan Lane and Tai Wo, that area. Oh my gosh, this taxi is gonna be bullshitting everything. And make us cross the red light. And now we got a 960 at the front. Is it two 960? I think one's 968. 960, that's a V6X over there. For Tuen Mun again, because it's 9 again, so let's go to Tuen Mun. So, not the 916 Perth, not to mirror Buka for this one. It's to Tuen Mun Kin Sang Estate. That's the only route that goes to Kin Sang. Even for routes that just stay inside Tuen Mun, no routes stop service at Kin Sang. They have stops for Kin Sang, but not terminus. Here's Wan Chai. Wan Chai is not a terrible area, but it's not where the CBD. Technically, if you go to the Convention and Exhibition Center, it's just out that way at Exhibition Center Station. Got more routes over there. More routes. All of those are cross harbour routes. now E11A, that one is to Tung Chung slash, I think it's Asia World Expo. Now that route does pass through Western Harbour Crossing. Technically it is not a 9 route. All the routes that goes over Western Harbour Crossings, they need to start with 9, but that's an exclusive, that's just a exception, because that's the E route. All of the routes that go to Tung Chung for the city bus routes, they all start with E or A. A's are city flyers that just goes to the airport. E are the routes that goes into Tung Chung for city bus routes. Okay, now stop here, Fleming Road. And we have Wan Chai station at the front. Why still show Wan Chai North for 960? Wan Chai North is the old terminus. After Exhibition Centre Station opened, every single thing was has swapped to Exhibition Centre Station, but it still show Wan Chai North. Next stop, Luat Road. 下一站卢押道。哎，哦。Now, don't get fooled by all of these buildings. These buildings look pretty torn, pretty worn down, and not very fancy. But as soon as we hit Admiralty and Central, the price of the buildings just goes up. No one really lives in Admiralty. No one really lives in Central. That's like the business district. But for the mid-levels and some in Sheung, there are buildings for you to live in. Since we hit the highway, we're not going to have too much red lights. But traveling time for the highway will be around 25 minutes, assuming we hit into Shamm Tseng area. Hopefully we can make it through this green light. It just turned green, so we should be able to make it. What is with that low height? Number 2 over there. Alright, next is Admiralty Station, Pacific Place. Not Pacific Place, what am I doing? I think it is Pacific Place, isn't it? Yeah, it is, okay. Messed up the name. Alright, Pacific Place. More red lights. Alright, into the CBD. Here we go. Shake Shack. Yeah, this is one of Shake Shack's place. I don't know whether Shake Shack is available in Perth actually. So here's Admiralty. We have 15 over there to the peak. 15 over there, low height. Here's Pacific Place. And we have the High Court right here as well. Alright, into Central. 下一站匯豐總行大廈 Next stop HSBC Main Building 下一站汇豐總行大廈 Got more routes here. He stops at Bank of China Tower, which is right here. Bank of China, but we stop at HSBC, which is at the front. The HSBC building here in Hong Kong is very awesome looking. I think this is where HSBC is located for real, like Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank cooperated, so yeah. I'm also an HSBC user, so that's why. Into the CBD, actually really in the CBD. And where the hell are we going? This route actually stops back here? I actually didn't know that. I thought it takes the main road. Apparently it stops back here. HSBC building. Apparently this route stops back here. I actually didn't know that. And how's it gonna go? I think it's gonna take that way, take Patterson Street, and not Patterson Street, Pedder Street, and then go back to the main road. I honestly didn't know that we actually stops in here. I thought we'd take the main road. Well, then this means it's also going to be a big problem that actually stops in here. Because you see how awesome the traffic looks like. We have chargers here, so this is technically a pretty new bus, but this is actually an MMC, so it's not really that new. It's not really a new type of buses, not a new generation, but I think it's a new MMC that just came in with the new development of Tuen Mun routes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Hong Kong viewers. Hopefully I can make it through this green light. I think the green lights here are actually pretty fast. So that's why they might turn red very quickly, especially when this truck is literally not moving. But at the front is Pedder Street. Pedder Street is one of the dreadful areas for jams, for traffic jams. You see? Look at this mess. I think we passed through Pedder Street, but no stops. Now, at least make it through here, please. Oh my gosh, freaking Christ. Go, please. I will turn right at the front into Pedder Street, and we take down to, oh my gosh. 下一站砵甸乍街，中環站 Next stop Pottinger Street Central Station。下一站砵甸乍街，中環站。Do we have stop here? No stop here. We take to the outside and we take that path back there. That's good because we take the path outside instead of this path. This path is, I still have no idea how to pronounce that word. Des Vaux Road Central. Now, a lot of the roads in Hong Kong Island, they're named after the governors of Hong Kong of before, during the British colony series, the British colony era. Like Pottinger. Pottinger was the first governor of Hong Kong during the British colony era. What is this one? 90. I think it's to Exchange Square. Not really familiar with the routes, so that's why. More red lights. And more jams. Hoo 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 hoo. Very exciting with so many red lights and so many stops. So many spots that we need to stop. There's a tram over there. Now for transport enthusiasts, for sure you guys are going to be enjoying the trams when you guys are here, because I think Hong Kong is one of the few places that actually has double-decker trams. I think this is the only place actually, not just like in the, I think the only place in the world with double-decker trams. But trams are not run by MTR, so that's why I'm not going to be filming them. Let's turn left here. Barely made it through. A 722 over there, filmed that route before, it's pretty miserable. Is that low height? Yeah, so definitely another low height. Why do they use so many low height buses on not low height routes? Okay, we gotta stop back here. We got a 955 here, which is a, I think it's a special route, is it? Or it's not? 955. Not to Ellenbrook, to Tuen Mun, Ching Tin. Gosh. Alright, next is Macau Ferry. Next stop, Jubilee Street. 下一站朱碧丽街. We have Macau Ferry just outside. We have ferries here connecting Hong Kong with Macau, but due to COVID, I don't think any ferries are running right now. I think the ferries has been stopped for like 2 years for sure. 下一站永安中心 Next stop 永安 Center 下一站永安中心. Got Sheung here. Sheung Station, one of the exits. Stop at the front at Rumsey Street. And technically Wing On Center, but what the hell? Okay, we at least made it through the red light, but this truck just has to park where the bus lane is. Oh my gosh, this truck has got to be bullshitting everything here. This is where the bus stop is for buses, and this truck just has to stop here. Alright, finally we have some smooth traffic. Next is Queen Street, and then we'll go across the harbour from there. Okay, just kidding. Next stop, Queen Street. 下一站皇后街. Yes. Well, so that's why I prefer most of the time filming highway routes, because here in although the highway routes for sure they're going to be very long, overall speaking, the overall journey, but the path on the highway without any red lights are just satisfying. Now this is not an express route because it takes Castle Peak Road instead of taking the whole Tuen Mun Road. So that's why. Now the stop for Queen Street usually has like a 1 to 2 dudes getting on. Barely made it through that red light. Perfect. Anyone here? A lot of people waiting for routes because all of the routes across the harbour stops here. Yep, there are some people here. We have a 950. That's, I think 950 here is a special route. I don't think they operate full day. Alright, next is Cross Harbour Tunnel. Here we go. 下一站西區海底隧道收費廣場，九龍圓方九龍站。Next stop Western Harbour Crossing Toll Plaza. Elements. Kowloon Station 900. 下一站西區海底隧道收費廣場圓方九龍站。And time for crossing the harbour. Fares changed to $16 something, I forgot. Here we go. Western Harbour Crossing. Now, normally for Western Harbour Crossing, not a lot of people will choose to drive through Western Harbour Crossing for crossing the harbour because the toll fee is double of the other two tunnels. It's not even double, it's like 4 times. It costs you $70 if you cross Western Harbour Crossing. If you drive your cars, private cars cost $70. If you just cross one time, going across, it costs you $70 per trip. So that's why if you go 2 times, once across and back and forth, it costs you over $100 for that day. There it goes, clearing out your wallet for that day. While if you take Cross Harbour Tunnel in Hong Kong, it only costs you $20 to go across the harbour. That's why over here, if you take Western Harbour Crossing, you can for sure have a very smooth traffic, smooth journey. But if you pay like 4 times more. But for Hong Kong Cross Harbour Tunnel, which is where I live close by, every single day in the morning, no matter what time it is, it will have traffic jam when you go across the harbour with that tunnel. And out to Kowloon. And for West Kowloon Cultural District and a M+ museum, which is just inside. You can get off here, but technically if you want to just go across to here, don't take this route. Just take the routes like what routes? Like any routes that goes from there? Oh, 930X or 930X, I think. Yeah, 930X. That one would be cheaper. Here's the Harbour Toll Plaza, and next will be Sham Tseng. So we'll take the highway from here. No red lights from here. Smooth journey. I think we'll change the fares again. 下一站碧堤半島海韻花園 Next stop Bellagio Rhine Garden 下一站碧堤半島海韻花園 Yep, another change of fares. Now for city bus and newer first bus, the changing of fares are auto. Okay, all the fares changes on its own after reaching a certain point because GPS system is in for every single bus if you set up the announcements and stuff. That's why the system will change according to where they are, where the bus is. But for KNB, the fares, it needs to be switched by the driver manually. So that's why there are announcements on the bus saying, just to tell the driver, there are next stop needs to change the fares. So. Now technically it says you can go up to 100 kilometers per hour, the speed, 100 kilometers per hour, but for public transport here in Hong Kong, except taxis, all the public transports except taxis like minibuses and buses that runs on road, max speed is 80, no matter how it is. No matter where you are, max speed is 80. So that's why all buses can only run at maximum speed of 80 kilometers per hour. And you go overboard, at the bottom, the system will beep like that to warn the driver you're going way too fast. pass through another tunnel very soon. That one doesn't really have toll fares, no toll fees for that one. It's the Ching tunnel, just passing through Tsing under the hill. We should be able to see the train tracks, which is actually just below us, the train tracks for Tung Chung Line and Airport Express. And for Tung Liking Station, pass through there into the tunnel. There's the Kwai Chung cargo terminal, which is still very busy every single day with cargoes coming in and out. Now, I don't know whether later on we'll be able to see those, but we might be able to get the first sight for Perth viewers. First sight of Hong Kong light rail inside Tuen Mun area. But we will pass through Sham Tseng. Sham Tseng is where one of the routes terminates for light rail. We might be able to see some light rail later on, but not promised. But for the train MTR channel, before I return to Perth, I will try to do a lot more light rails. So probably, actually, I think I've already made up my mind that the request form won't reopen as Hong Kong version, unfortunately, because I have planned some routes I want to film for buses, and I also want to do more light rail after all of the requests are done, so that's fine. Probably the request form won't reopen. It will reopen as Perth version very soon again. Unfortunately, I just registered for my semester 1 coming up for 2023. So, just register of the units that I will be studying. I will be studying full load, so that's why. It will be tough because it's full load. So that's why next year was reduced significantly in the amount of filmings when I'm in Perth. Because I'll be studying full load, so Monday to Thursday I will have lessons. Yes, Monday to Thursday, all 4 days lessons. On Friday is the only day that I think I can go film. So that's why. But besides filming, on Friday sometimes I probably will be doing revision and stuff, so that's why. And there will be homework for me to do. So that's why it's going to be tough. Next year is going to be tough. It's not going to be as simple as this year anymore. This year I have enough time for me to explore around Perth. So next year we'll be focusing on my studies. That's why I try to film as many videos as I can when I'm here in Hong Kong. So that's why I think I will be able to actually keep a daily upload and daily premiere for now, actually. Not really daily, because some days I can't do premieres. Like Friday right here, I can't do premiere at night for Friday because I have church activities on Fridays, that's why. Alright, through Cheung Ching Tunnel and on the other side. The sky's not that great today, a little weary here. And we have Tsing Ma Bridge over there. We're not going to be taking Tsing Ma Bridge. Tsing Ma Bridge is to a closed area called Ma Wan. Yes, a closed area. That area you can go in if you're actually, you don't need a permit to go into Ma Wan if you take If you take ferries or you take the specific coaches, you can go into Ma Wan. It is an area that you can go in, but if you can't drive in there without a permit. So that's why. You see here it is. No entry to Ma Wan except permit holders, trucks and coaches and taxis. Because there are people living in Ma Wan. One of my teachers from my secondary school lives in Ma Wan, so that's why. But for the Tsing Bridge, besides Ma Wan, is for Lantau and airport and Tung Chung, so that's why. We're not going to take that. You can see a city flyer already up there. That city flyer is going across Tsing Bridge to the airport. But we'll take Teng Khao Bridge to cross over to the Tuen Mun area. Here's Teng Khao Bridge just at the front. Tsing Bridge is that way. And also Tsing Bridge is one of the coolest architecture infrastructure here that they built, because they didn't build from one side and ended off on the other side. They start building on both sides and complete binding together in the middle. Yes, they start building on both ends. And then eventually they combine them together. So that's why it's very cool. But here's Teng Khao Bridge, equally as cool as Tsing Bridge. Here we go. And there's Ma Wan over there. You see all of the buildings over there, all of the housing buildings. That's Ma Wan. Now this area is pretty off the radar. It's not really part of any train network, so that's why. It is a fancy area, that's for sure. You see all of the buildings. Not really buildings, you can see those are very short houses. They're not tall at all, very, yeah, village houses. And we have Shamm Tseng over that way. Now there's a path down there. Some buses do run that path, including a route that I filmed before, 53. I've talked about that route a lot of times. The longest Canby route. That route takes over 2 hours for the full journey. There's also actually a challenge, not a very healthy challenge. You guys might be thinking, what do you mean, not a healthy challenge? Yes, because there's actually a challenge where you take 53 full journey without going to the toilet. Try to hold yourself without having the need to go to the toilet, which is not a very healthy challenge. So that's why. Before you take 53, if you want to take 53 full journey, it starts from Yuen Long and terminates at Tuen Mun, passing through every single spot. If you want to take that route, overall that route has 74 stops and it loops all over the place. If you want to take that route, go to the toilet before you board. Because even sometimes drivers actually have to get off during the middle of the journey, tell the passengers that I actually need to go pee before I can continue the journey. So that's why, go to the toilet before you take that route. Alright, ready to turn down to Shamm Tseng. It's just at the bottom over there. We take this path down to Shamm Tseng. If you're taking express routes, it will basically keep taking Tuen Mun Road. Keep going Tuen Mun Road, doesn't need to get off. You can see buses over there. Those are all routes that takes Tuen Mun Road. Doesn't need to turn down. 952 need to turn down here though. On to Shamm Tseng. Shamm Tseng is an area that actually tourists should visit, because there's a decent restaurant here that is very famous for their grilled goose. Very delicious. Down to Shamm Tseng. and we take Castle Peak Road. Now Castle Peak Road is not a busy road, and we'll be able to see the pretty views of the next to the harbour first, and next to the ocean views. Alright, Sham Tseng, Castle Peak Road, Sham Tseng. Castle Peak Road is the longest road of Hong Kong. It goes from Tuen Mun all the way to Yuen Long. You got a terminus in there. No buses inside for that terminus. It's for mini buses. Bellagio. Off the route here for can be 53. Now 53 is technically like if I use perf, if I use the perf system, oh my gosh, freaking A. If I use the perf concept to describe 53, it's basically 999 deviation trip from Fremantle all the way to Stirling. There are some deviation trips for 999 that goes from Fremantle and terminates at Stirling. That's basically 53. That's basically how long you would take for the whole 53. Yeah, if you take 999 from Fremantle all the way to Stirling, 999, okay? And for the other way, it's probably like 998 Stirling, not Stirling, like, yeah, the other way, 998 Stirling to Fremantle or something like that. That's probably how long does 53 takes. Not as long as 998, 999, those are 3.5 hours for the full journey. I'm getting subscribers, guys. After I get back to Hong Kong, I'm getting subscribers. 410, I think right now. We'll get to 500 and I'll go back to Perth and I'll do the challenge with Mark. I think for Mark, he can do that one as his 1250 subs special. If he actually decide to do that one, 1250, he can do it 1250 because it's a challenge. That's why he can do a 1250 subscriber challenge. If Mark agree with that, I would talk to Mark on that. We'll do that when I get back to Perth. When I hit 500, of course. Shaim Tseng Tsuen, Re No Fa Yuen. Next stop, Shaim Tseng Village, Lido Gardens. 下一站，深井村，丽都花园。I got an 838 here that actually goes to Tuen Mun. It's on the wrong way, dude. Is that thing like terminates at Tsing Tower or something? Alright, next is where the ocean views are. Next stop, Ma Wan Pier. 下一站马湾码头。Is where there's a pier here to go across to Ma Wan. I don't think any ferries actually stop here, but it just says the Ma Wan Pier. Anyone getting on? Nope. Skip. Next stop, Seacrest Villa, Phase 3. 下一站浪吹园第3期。Seacrest Villa, this thing is gonna cost over $30 million for sure. If you want to buy a flat here, for sure over I don't know how much, because no one needs to get off, so just skip the stop. Stop is inside, don't need to turn in there. 下一站浪翠園第4期 Next stop, Seacrest Villa Phase 4. 下一站浪翠園第4期。 Alright, here's the phase 4 stop. Here's the views, very pretty. 下一站青龍頭村 ，next stop 青龍頭村，下一站青龍頭村。Alright, no one skip. Next stop Hong Kong Garden. 下一站好景花園。I'm pretty hungry. Gonna get to Tuen Mun or eat. Hong Kong Gardens. Next stop Hong Kong Garden Commercial Complex. Did they edit this extra stop? It's pretty pointless actually, stop. Next stop Vista Cliff. 下一站玉天峰. Another housing complex right here. That's not. That's something else, but that also should cost over like $50 million. Right, here's the stop. Nothing. Skip. 下一站御海峰 or something like that. Yep. 下一站御海峰 Next stop Vista Cove. 下一站御海峰. You need to turn into this stop, unfortunately, because it's pretty deep in there, so you have to turn in. Next stop Kowloon. 下一站嘉隆村. And after this next stop, Kowloon is going to be one of the bigger stops coming up. No one's here. 下一站屯門公路巴士轉乘站 Next stop Tuen Mun Road Bus-to-Bus Interchange. 下一站屯门公路巴士转乘站. Now the next stop is an interchange stop, so that's why you can have fares brought over to another route, but it needs to be the same company. You can change a lot of buses here. You can even go back up to the top part and change the routes that are going faster. It doesn't take Causeway Road, and change to the routes that actually take Tuen Mun Road. But if you change to routes that are run by KMB, you need to pay the fares. I think if you change to a route that actually are CTB, city bus routes, you don't need to pay extra. You can just bring the fare over and it costs you 0 when you tap again. But for KMB routes, if you take a KMB route in and then you tap the card again, you should most of the time it will cost you 0. So how the interchange works is if you're going into Tuen Mun direction, after you take the first trip in the city, it will cost you, for example, $15. And if you come in here and then change the bus here, if the fare is of the next route, of the second route that you take, is lower than that of the route of the first trip, it will pay 0. Or if it is like lower for the first trip and the second trip is a little bit more, you pay the difference in the fares. So that means overall you paid for the overall second trip. Same concept when you go back out to the city. That's why if you take, for example, route 60X from Tuen Mun and you get off here, you pay the first fare, $13 something. And usually I change to 260X to get back to Hong Kong. That thing costs 15 something. Then you just pay the difference in the fares for the second trip as you pop on. So basically you just pay the overall fare of the second trip that you need to take. We have a 61M over there. Honestly speaking, I want to say that 61M is pretty dumb, the path. Yes, that path is pretty dumb. It takes the whole Tuen Mun Road, but after at this stop it turns down here and take Castle Peak Road. So that's why it actually needs to take up there. That path is up there, Tuen Mun Road. Takes up there, doesn't stop up there, doesn't stop at the top part. Go to the front, turn down and do this gyratory turn and come back here and stop here. Which is pretty dumb. Tai Lam Chung Maritime Service Training Institute. We got a 252 here. That one is, oh gosh, Alpha. 252 is a connection route with So Kun Vat, which is a village area, with Tuen Mun Road Interchange. That's a KMB route, so since you take that one, and then you can change to a lot of buses at Tuen Mun Road, which is very useful. So here's a stop. There are some MTR buses. Route K51 that terminates here at Tai Lam Chung. It goes to Phu Thai Estate, which is somewhere near Siêu Hong Station. But those are run by MTR. They're not run by KMB. They're not run by CTB. All these buses are run by MTR. They're trying to connect with this area, with the bus areas. I mean with the MTR area. So all of the drivers down there, they are a part of MTR. They are MTR staffs. Alright, keep going. Almost at the 1 hour mark. Got to stop here? Anyone? Nope, skip. Shaw Lam Tsing Lai Lo. Next stop, Tsing Lai Road, Shaw Lam. Tsing Lai Lo. Tsing Lai Road. 下一站成立路. Into Tuen Mun. This is not the main part of Tuen Mun yet. We'll pass through Hong Kong Gold Coast later on. Yes, not the one in Brisbane. We have a Gold Coast here. It's just technically one small area of the beach and a in a hotel for the beach. Before, when I was small, it was a tradition every single year we come into Gold Coast once. But yeah, but this was a long time ago, that tradition. Like, I've not been to Gold Coast for like 10 years already. Yeah, when I was still in primary school, it was a tradition that goes with my cousin. Every year we go with our cousin. I think up to like secondary 1 or secondary 2, then no more. And of course, right now my cousin is already in Adelaide, so that's why no point of having that tradition anymore. 下一站小欖村 ，next stop 小欖村，下一站小欖村。Now later on in Tuen Mun, there will be tons of MTR buses, and I will film an MTR bus for sure before I leave. I'll be doing K52A to Tsang. I know that's not a new path because I've done K52 and I've done 56S, 52S a few times. That goes into Tsang and stuff like that, but because I don't really have a lot of time, and that route I will be taking with a purpose. I'm visiting the columbarium in Tsang. I'm visiting the columbarium in Tsang, so that's why. We have a MTR bus right there. Most of the MTR buses, they use the X, Volvo B90Ls. More of the Enviro 500 we use mostly in Alexander Dennis buses here in Hong Kong, but we do have Volvos. Mostly they use X, and some of them are E500 MMCs for MTR buses. The MTR buses are pretty cheap, they're not very expensive, but you want to wait for them, that's basically it. The agent. Almost hitting Gold Coast at the front. Next stop 小洲村，下一站小秀村。The stop. A lot of stops on Castle Peak Road, so that's why taking Tuen Mun Road is a very big boon for expresses. Because these villages are just like random villages, so that's why all of the English are just direct pronunciation of Chinese. Cantonese, I mean. Next stop, Pearl Island, Hong Kong Gold Coast Phase 2. 下一站龙出岛，香港黄金海岸27. Now Pearl Island is a very cool island that actually is an independent island that actually leads out from Tuen Mun. Here's Gold Coast, here's the hotel for Gold Coast. Actually, that's not. That's just a residential area. Hotel's at the front somewhere. The next stop should be the exact stop for Gold Coast. 下一站黃金泳灘、黃金海岸。下一站香港黃金海岸。Next. Hong Kong Gold Coast, Agent Coast, So Kun Wat. 下一站，香港黄金海岸。And here's Gold Coast. The beach is just outside, with the hotel just at the back. If you can see the words over there, can't see. Wow. There's the hotel back there. Those are in Chinese, but there's the hotel right there. You can see some Chinese words. That's where the hotel is. We got another K51, another egg over there for MTR bus. The MTR buses are very cool because the announcement for the KMB, for the MTR buses, they are recorded by Cherry Chan. So that's why the announcement for MTR buses are the exact same style as the MTR train announcements. Very, very cool. Alright, next is Gold Coast. Quite a lot of people actually, but today, considering today's Monday, so I don't know why there's so many people here. We got another back to Tai Lam, K51. The announcement just goes, 下一站香港黃金海岸，下一站香港黃金海岸。Next stop, Hong Kong Gold Coast. They just goes like that. Basically the announcements. That's why it's very awesome. Thank you, Car, for letting us go first. 下一站黃金泳灘。Next stop, Golden Beach, Gold Coast Hotel. 下一站黃金泳灘，黃金海岸酒店。Considering not too long, but we're still not at the terminus, so that's why the terminus is a little lame because we have a stop for Chi Lok Fa Yuen and then another stop for Chi Lok Fa Yuen bus terminus, so that's why I will get off at the bus terminus bus stop, of course. Now the fares actually right now I think it's pretty cheap for the fares. I think it's like $5 or $4. That's a lot of people getting on at these stops. Considering there's so many routes over there for KMB. And also a MTR route. 2 MTR routes too, not just one, because we have a route that goes to So Kun Wat, circular route for K53. 下一站咖啡灣、青山灣入境事務中心。Next stop, Cafeteria Beach, Castle Peak Bay Immigration Center. 下一站咖啡灣、青山灣入境中心。Now this is where I went canoeing a few years ago. A lot of fun actually, this area. If crowded, please proceed to the rear and keep the doorways and driver's side line clear. 乘车时，请尽量走进车尾，转接车门，通道畅通，车长视线无阻。Oh my gosh, it's so slow here. Another crappy minibus over that way. All of the minibuses that actually runs inside the new territories are mostly garbage. LT2706, that's a complete crap, wow. The bells are like that for all of the MMCs. If you press it, it's like that. So far right now is basically stopping at every single stop, but we're almost at Chi Lok Fa Yuen. Got another 952 over there coming over. Now I tried to do another long wind route, but long wind route is pretty lame for me, because if I take long wind route, it's basically going to the airport. Next stop, Castle Peak Beach. 下一站，冲向青山湾。No one, huh? 下一站三聖村 next stop. Is it for light rail next stop? 下一站三聖村 next stop Shing Estate. 下一站三聖村 one of the older generations for estates, Shing. And there is the terminus for Route 505 of light rail here. We can see any light rails will be at the front if we get lucky. 505's frequency is not too bad, like around 5 minutes per light rail. Per train, I still call them train, but got another MTR bus coming over. K53. Sokun Wat Circular. This area, this path is pretty narrow, so hopefully we can make it through. Pass already. 下一站恒豐園 or something. 屯門兆麟政府綜合大樓胡陳金枝中學. Alright, just kidding. No light rail. Light rail is this way. No light rail. Alright, we'll keep the light rail as a secret until later. Can we see any light rail? The answer is no light rail. Okay. So we'll keep the secret of light rail until later on in the train channel, in the MTR channel. We're gonna have light rail videos for sure. Looks like there's one turning in, but no, those are buses. Now, no light rail right now. A quick sneak peek at the tracks. You see there's the light rail. There's a light rail stop over there with some tracks. They are run by MTR, so that's why I will film those as part of the MTR channel. Return this way, and Chi Lok Fa Yuen is just back there. Actually, just real fast, actually one time, I think it's the first video. Mark, yeah, I think it's the first video when I do premiere here in Hong Kong. Number 2, yeah? Round number 2, Mark thought that So Oak is not a place because it spells as So and then UK for Oak. So that's why he thought it's like, oh, I thought it's just you're saying So, UK. No, that's the place called So Oak. That's how you pronounce So Oak. That actually laughed. I laughed actually for that one. I got you back, Mark. You laughed at me. You're not really saying you're bad, but not saying Mark doing anything. But before I went to Perth viewers watched the vlog and then laughed at me, saying that he thought that he thought that the airport central station is the Transperth headquarters, and laughed at quite a lot of things. Of course I know, because I don't know anything, but this time Hong Kong Perth viewers doesn't really know that much about Hong Kong, so I make some silly mistakes, but it is natural for people to make silly mistakes, but yeah. Next stop, Tsing Playground. 下一站青山游乐场. Tsing Playground. This is stop 41. Stop 42 is the mid stop for Chi Lok Fa Yuen, and stop 43 is the Chi Lok Fa Yuen terminus. Later I'm probably just gonna take bus right back and we'll leave from there. I'm not gonna take any light rail today. I do want to take some light rail, but I don't think I'm gonna do that for now, because I want to rush back and try to get this video uploaded as fast as possible. 下一站智樂花園. Next stop, Chi Lok Fa Yuen. Next, 下一站智樂花園. I'm not gonna get off at this stop. Yeah, I'll get off at the terminus stop. I think everyone will be getting off at the next stop because it's basically the same thing. But I'll get off at the terminus just because it is a full journey. not too bad for the timing. 1 hour and 25 minutes. Before 1 hour and 30 minutes, we can hit the marks. That's why. Got 962X here. This is what I call, this is the express route from Moreton Terrace over here. 962X. But I think this one is actually back to Causeway Bay direction. Yes, I think this one's back to Causeway Bay direction. I don't think this one's actually to Tuen Mun direction. This route terminates at Oasis, Long Mun Oasis, which is on the other side. So yeah, this one's back to Causeway Bay direction. UN 7107. That's a another MMC, I think. I can read the sign. Yes, it's to Causeway Bay direction. And the next stop is Chi Lok Fa Yuen. That sign is so dumb. I just saw that sign over there. This stop is Chi Lok Fa Yuen, and then for 952 it still says to Chi Lok Fa Yuen. So basically 2 stops with the same name. Wow. 2 stops with the same name. That stop was Chi Lok Fa Yuen. Next stop, Chi Lok Fa Yuen. So that's why that sign is really stupidly designed, because it says that stop is also Chi Lok Fa Yuen, and it's just said that bus is to Chi Lok Fa Yuen at the stop. At a stop saying Chi Lok Fa Yuen, a bus to Chi Lok Fa Yuen. Wow. Really dumb. But I think we turn here, or do we turn at the next junction? I think we turn at the next junction. I don't think we're gonna turn right here. This is complete bullshit if you actually turn right here. Oh, don't tell me you're actually turning right here. Oh my gosh, you're turning right here? Seriously? You serious? This is like impossible to turn. Please tell me we're going straight. Okay, we are going straight. Okay, lucky. Oh, I thought we were turning right there. I was like, what the hell? Turn right here. This is a better spot right here. Alright, left. Right here we go. This is also pretty narrow, but it is a spot that's okay for turning. And next stop is the terminus. It's a little bit of market area. We might be able to find some food here. Never explored this area, so I'm later going to do a oh, you've got to be bullshitting me. I think we're gonna do a, for sure later on, a Justin Eater video exploring. So let's see how much battery did it use. I filmed non-stop 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's why I started at 99%, which I tried to keep it at 100 before I start, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So 99 is okay for the thing. And turn in terminus time. And so that's just a random stop in the middle of the road. It's pretty narrow actually, this path. But here is terminus. There's actually quite a lot of restaurants back here. I'm just gonna randomly choose one later on because I've never explored this area. And here we are, Chi Lok Fa Yuen bus terminus. Right here. Back to Causeway Bay direction. 請離開車廂 Bye bye. This is the terminus. Please alight here. See you. 我們已經到達終點站，請離開車廂，再見。Peace. Let's get down. Alright. Chi Lok Fa Yuen. Very fun journey. Pretty long, but overall pretty fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe. Click the bell so that you get notifications when I post. Check out the links in the description down below for my other channels and my Instagram. Click on these videos up top, and peace.